Strategic acquisitions are crucial for sustained growth and competitive advantage. This presentation details our proven process for identifying and pursuing high-value targets. We achieve sustainable growth for our clients by focusing on key benefits, reducing risk through rigorous due diligence, improving deal success rates through strategic planning, and enhancing valuation accuracy for optimal deal structuring. This slide should be familiar to you since I've covered it in another video on the top 5 mistakes of corporate M&A deal sourcing. If you have not seen it and you are a corporate investor, I recommend watching that before this video. It is only 7 minutes. Today, I want to dig a bit deeper into the last point, the fact that companies overpay in transactions between 30% and even double its real value. To keep it totally simple and simplified, I think the main reason corporate buyers overpay is because they don't have full transparency about the opportunities out there, and perhaps they're lacking the experience in evaluating M&A transactions. That is the same for small or large companies, as can be seen by very large corporate failures in M&A. For example, Daimler acquiring Chrysler for $40 billion and 10 years later selling it for $4 billion.
FaMAS works for corporate and professional investors and also some super wealthy individual persons, and therefore can compare the systematic approach is how these different groups look at M&A transactions. In total, we service about 120 clients currently on mostly European mandates. Clients can range from 100 million in revenue to 1,000 million in revenue as a group. Even the professional investors, so-called private equity, have told us numerous times that our deal sourcing capability is far better than their own. So let's look at what we do and how corporate investors could benefit from us in strategic acquisition research.
Over the next 4 pages, I will outline our core operating principles. This system has been refined over 20 years, during which we tested various strategies for sourcing deals for investors. While each M&A research project is unique, differing in targets, processes, tools, and steps, there are common elements that I will discuss. Our research process is divided into 3 phases. The first phase, desk research, typically lasts 1 to 8 months. This phase overlaps with the second, market approach, which starts a month or 2 into the process. There is an optional third phase that repeats the tasks and sourcing channels of phases 1 and 2 over months 3 through 9. The pyramid illustration on the right conveys the number of relevant companies we identify through each phase. Phase 1, which includes our proprietary database, external paid databases, and searches in public sources like Google, typically yields about 2/3 of the relevant industry companies. To identify the remaining third, we consult with the companies found in Phase 1 to identify other companies and enrich our lists. We also contact specialized intermediaries, such as M&A advisors, to uncover potential deals that align with our clients' requirements. This intermediary source constitutes a significant portion of our deal flow, approximately 60 to 70% of total deals. It is important to note that covering all areas is critical to achieve a 95% industry coverage. Ultimately, only 1 to 2% of companies are likely to be transacted within the next 12 months. These few companies could be within the remaining 5% that is not covered, and therefore, we do everything possible to identify them. However, it is virtually impossible to achieve 100% coverage, especially if the target list includes more than 10 companies. This slide details the various sourcing channels we utilize. We generate a target list of companies through a custom target search, which I will elaborate on in the next 2 slides. We also engage with intermediaries. Additionally, there are numerous broker platforms, approximately 20, where current company transactions are listed. However, it's important to note that companies on these platforms are often less attractive and smaller in size. For example, a company like Bosch would not be advertised on such platforms. I won't go into detail on the remaining source channels, but you can review them at your convenience. Some clients have provided us with their specialized platforms, which we then use to filter potential targets.
The next 2 slides are a detailed breakdown of the phases, which I had mentioned on slide 2. Everything is detailed into individual tasks and activities. I think the main point here, without reading everything out to you, is that customers in our case have an extraordinary termination right after effectively 2 months. If we cannot deliver a single interesting introduction to a target company, target shareholder, then a client is permitted to terminate the research engagement. The research engagement is, however, actually expected to run at least 7 to 9 months, and often even more than a year. That is our experience, the time required to find a deal and start negotiating and potentially complete it. We have done the search with less than 6 months from start to end, but those are exceptions.
Many view us as a pure research firm, which is 90% correct since 90% of our activity is focused on research. To give you a sense, we screen about 500 to 600 transactions per year, but help complete less than a dozen transactions. In some years, it has been as low as only 2. That shows much research is necessary to find a great match. Yet we also accompany our clients up to the very end of the closing and transfer of shares. The reason we don't broadcast that skill is that there are dozens, maybe even hundreds of other financial advisors who can provide services in due diligence and in the closing phase. So it's not unique like our research capabilities. I think we're doing a reasonably good job in those phases, but at the same time, I think we are difficult to beat on the research part, which precedes this phase step 3 and 4. To sum it up, obviously you are already doing the usual things to ensure you're getting a good deal. This will involve your due diligent work, focus on the financials, the operations, the management, etc. You also negotiate in a great way. Make no mistakes. Act fast when it's necessary to get the deal done, and take your time when it's useful for you to get a good deal, and many other things. Doing these things will optimize what you get to see. If there are only 3 deals in the year, then you will probably pick the best one from those 3. Hopefully from this presentation, you understand that there could be a lot more deals available that you don't see here, but that you should check. So-called off-market deals can become on-market deals in the future if you work on them. In our experience, there are a lot more off-market potential deals for any given type of profile company than there are marketed deals. In my experience, it's a factor of 5 to 10 times more. At any given time, obviously, you will only be able to make a really great deal if you see the whole picture, with all the potential deals and not just those that are offered to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.
Need help with your investment? We are here to help you. For more information, contact us now. You can call us at +4 98920 803 9165. Email us at d.saldana@famas.de or visit our website at www.famas.de.